Take it away.
Well, I was like, to start off, she was born on her due date, which I was very surprised by. Um, but my first contraction was at like 2:30 in the morning, and up until this point, I felt no signs of labor at all. I was like, she's gonna go 2 weeks over. I don't know when this baby's gonna come out, and I wasn't really like forcing anything. I wasn't really doing any of the tricks. So I was like, well, she's going to come out when she's going to come out. So the morning of my due date, it was 2:30 in the morning. And then right off the bat, my contractions were like 7 minutes apart for a minute long. And I was like, huh, okay. And I couldn't really like go back to sleep. One, because I was kind of excited, but I was trying not to be. Because I remember in the back of my head, Liza was like, if you think you're in labor, get over it. And I was like, oh, okay. I can't get excited because your body's going to like halt labor. And then so I was trying to remember that in the back of my head. And then the pain was like super minimal. It wasn't anything crazy. It felt like really light menstrual cramps. Ladies, if you know what I'm talking about, that's what it felt like at the very beginning. And then, yeah, it was the first time I had felt contractions consistently, and then there was a big difference between like the contractions and Braxton Hicks, and so she's grouchy. Johnny, take it over.
Yes.
We're right here.
I got it. Okay. Yeah, it was the first time she had felt Braxton Hicks for the whole third trimester, like every day. Pretty often, but never enough to think that it was like actually going to labor. So anyways, she's doing that for like an hour. It's 2:30 in the morning. She's up till like 3:30. They're like 7 minutes apart, the contractions. And she wakes me up at 3:30 in the morning. So an hour in, and was like, hey, I think it's happening. And so I woke up right away, started timing it on my watch, how long the contractions were, and just started like doing laps for all of the contractions and then the rest periods. And so that went on for probably about 4 or 5 hours, something like that, till around noon. And they started slowly creeping down from 7 minutes down to like 3 to 4 minutes apart. And they were always a minute long from the very beginning. And so it was not too intense. It was pretty mild. And she showered, was just resting. We were like watching TV, stuff like that. Everything was kind of normal. She was laughing. Everything was chill. And even though it had been like 6-7 hours, I guess, at that point, it wasn't like
we need to go to the
hospital, you know,
because I know they say it's like the 3-1-2, like 3 minutes apart, 1 minute long for 2 hours straight. But I was at that point at 6 a.m. But the emotional signposts were not there at all. I was like, I'm laughing. This is not that bad.
Yeah,
we're joking. And so I was like, Johnny knew, like, no, it's not time yet. So we stayed at home for about 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So from like 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., it started picking up. She started getting a little more serious. I think this was going into like, what, active labor?
Active labor.
Yeah, going into active labor at this point. She was breathing through them. She would go to sit on the toilet to use the restroom a lot, and every time she would, it would like
intensify. It was sitting on the toilet. It was really intense. I was like, even if I had just had a contraction and I would sit on the toilet, it would be like a contraction times like 10. I was like, what the heck is going on when I'm sitting on this toilet? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, she couldn't really catch a break when she had to pee. Yeah, it would just happen. And then she didn't really eat as much as I thought she would. I mean, granted, she's like in labor, but I don't know.
I had chicken noodle soup.
She had chicken noodle soup with
bone
broth, so she got some stuff in, but it wasn't.
protein.
It wasn't nearly as much as I think she needed to like
Labor.
deliver a baby. That's for sure. I couldn't believe she did it on that little of nutrition and energy and stuff. But yeah. So then around 2:30, 3:00, 3:30 rolls around. She starts crying during the contractions and like shaking. And then she had a little bit of discharge with blood.
Bloody discharge.
Yeah, bloody discharge in it. Not too much. It was like a little light pink. And then we kind of realized, like, all right, she got some blood. She's shaking. She's crying. It's been like 12 hours at this point. So we were like, yeah, I think we're going to get ready to go to the hospital.
Were you crying because you were having a hard time coping or because you were tired or?
No, it was just getting a little bit more uncomfortable.
Oh.
And I was like, whew, like that one got me. I was like, I think I have a video. I wish I could share it. I don't have it with me right now, but I was like holding, we're doing the slow dancing movement, and I was like shaking. I was like, whoo, like that one hurts. Like it was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, this is getting real.
It was getting intense. And yeah, and so pretty much the whole time too, counter pressure was like the thing for her, which I was like, thank God it's not double hip squeeze, because counter pressure is so much easier. I was even doing it while she's like side lying. I was giving her counter pressure like that, and so that was like the main thing. So we leave for the hospital. We get there around 4:30 and check in. They do a cervical check for her, and she was 5 centimeters dilated. And so they said, "Great job.
You came in at a good time."
Yeah, you came in at a good time.
Okay.
She asked when she checked her. She didn't tell her right away that she was 5 centimeters. She asked me if the number. She was like, "I'm gonna give Dad the number, and he's gonna say whether she's good to hear it or not." And so she held up 5. Oh, where is it? There we go. She held up 5 to me, and I was like, "Yeah, she can hear that. She can hear that." The worst part would have been if she was only like 2.
You're like, you're only 1 centimeter dilated. I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah. So she was 5 centimeters. I was like, yeah, she's good to hear that. So they told her, and then she said, your bag of water, it's bulging.
Yeah, bulging bag of water. And I was like, okay, that's a good thing. And then they gave me like a saline lock. We didn't have any like IV necessity. I didn't have any group B or anything, so I didn't need antibiotics. And I wanted to be free from the machine, and they were willing to let me do that because I was just like a low risk patient. And so saline lock, they did the external fetal monitoring. But later on they ended up just doing the intermittent monitoring for us. So our doula met us at the hospital around the same time, and then I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have our baby today. Like, this is crazy. And then so
started to sink in.
Yeah, it just got a little bit more real. And then so probably 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. is when I really was getting into like active labor. The contractions were still moderate in intensity. Like, they didn't get that much worse. I was doing yoga ball. I was leaning over the bed. Like Johnny said, he was doing the what was it called? Counter pressure. And then I was using liquid IV, honey sticks, lots of water, just to like keep my like fluid and energy up as much as possible. I did get really nauseous, and I did throw up, which I was not expecting.
She hadn't thrown up since like the second trimester.
Yeah,
maybe.
And so I was like,
so it was pretty random.
But I did throw up. I was like, I just feel so nauseous, and I just yacked, and I was like, I'm sorry, did not mean to do that.
I was surprised, and then she didn't throw up again.
Ever again. It was just one and done.
Ever again.
And then so, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I got into the shower and this is when the nurses had like a shift change. And so we got put with an amazing nurse. I truly don't think
Do you remember her name?
Stephanie,
She's
she was
young.
the best. And we told her like 20,000 times afterwards. We're like, we could not have done this without you.
I
Like,
know,
she was a godsend.
She was
like,
incredible.
yes, never left my side. She stuck by me the whole time. And so around this time, I wanted to get into the shower. And so I got into the shower. Johnny brought a pair of
Swim trunks.
So dads, if mom wants to go in the water, you better have some swim trunks because you can't be naked in there. So
They'll tell you too.
they
They're
said,
like,
don't get naked.
yeah.
And then so they took off my monitoring, and then I had the lights off, really calm music in the bathroom. And then this is when the contractions really started to pick up.
Mhm.
And then
She went into transition in the shower.
yeah, and then I started to get really doubtful. I was just telling Johnny, I was like, I can't do this. Who am I kidding? Like, I can't do this. Like, I cannot. And
We were probably in there for like an hour and a half, I think.
yeah, hour
in
and a
the
half.
shower, just her and I, and in the dark.
Yeah, and I was sitting in the chair, which just also intensified the contractions a bit
Mhm.
more. But Johnny said that I wasn't really saying it to be like combative. Like, I wasn't like, I can't do it. And then as he's encouraging me, I wasn't like, no, I can't stop saying that. Like,
Yeah, like she would be like, I can't do this. Like, I don't think I can do this. And I was like, you can do it. You're already doing it. Like, the Lord is giving you strength. You're going to do this. And she would just be like, okay. And then just keep doing it.
and then I'm
And
like,
okay, that worked.
that was easy.
Yeah, so I was just telling her that every time. And I was like, okay, it's working. She never like went, no, I can't do it. I'm telling you, I can't do it.
Yeah, it was just like a weird, like, I just getting it off my chest and saying, I can't do it. And then he's like, yes, you can. I'm like, okay. And then so my doula stepped in, and like, I was like, I just need a girl that's been through this. She also did Liza's class. And so she knew the whole Bradley method and was super supportive of like our mission and what we wanted to do. And so she, you're so cute. And then so I was like, I just need a girl that's been through this to tell me like what I'm feeling is normal and that I can actually do what I want to do. And so she was super encouraging. And then she did.
Hold on. I thought
Oh gosh.
a funny thing though is when Drea called for her, she was like, I need Ariel. And then I like got out of the shower and I was like, Ariel, tagging you in. And when she walked over, she's like, she needs me. I was like, yeah. And I just hear like, and I'm like, what is that? And she's like, sorry, I'm pumping. so she was like, our doula was like she was pumping milk. And I was just like, oh man, I
Like,
hope Drea
Drea
doesn't get like
get
annoyed
mad.
by that pumping sound while she's in labor. She didn't. I don't think she noticed. She was pretty
yeah,
disoriented.
Did she have one of the ones that you wore to Brad? Like the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
And so they were
wireless
like
one.
huge. I was like, okay. And then the doctors needed me to get out because since I didn't have any monitoring on, they were like, okay, we need to check on baby, make sure she's doing okay. And as I'm getting out of the shower, I'm like, Johnny, like, I can't do this. And I'm like crying again just because I'm like, emotions are heightened and like you're just already so in like a vulnerable spot. And I'm like, I can't do this. And I'm like crying. And Johnny's not an emotional person. And so I just see his eyes like filling with like tears. I'm like, oh crap. Like, this is bad. Like, you're not supposed to be crying.
Yeah.
But
it's like if I'm crying, then it's
pretty rough.
so
But
she started crying more when she saw me crying.
But his thought process was like he had just felt so helpless. Like there's nothing that he could have done to like take away like my pain and discomfort. It was just the natural process of like birth, like that he just had to let me go through and like be there for me. And so dads, if you get emotional, that's okay. It's normal. You're also like,
Yeah.
I can't do anything to help you.
That's what it was. It was just like she's in so much pain and I can't take it away. So
Yeah.
I just cried.
And then so 7:30, 8:30, I'm on all fours on the bed. They like lowered the like bottom part of the bed for me to like just be more comfortable, and like Johnny could still do my like counter pressure. My doula was like making sure I was hydrated, making sure I was relaxed, giving me like points like Drea, drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, like deep low moans. Like we practice that stuff, but when you're in it, you're kind of like, it is such a natural reaction to just want to like tense up. And so it was so good to just be like, relax. Like I could tell her not relax. And so
Our doula would keep reminding her like
mhm.
drop
She
your
literally would
shoulders,
touch
drop
my
your shoulders, and then
shoulders,
Drea,
like-
you could just see her relax
it
more.
was such
that was
a
really
big
good.
help. And then so we changed our music a bit more. We put on like we made like an intentional playlist for like the transition days and stuff. And then so that was really helpful. The nurse like
What
was
kind of
in
music?
we did our worship music.
Worship.
It was great. It was so good.
Just calm worship songs.
Calm worship songs. And then so this is when our new nurse was in place, and she was just amazing. She never left my side.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, she never left that room
Yeah.
and held Drea's hand like the whole time.
Yeah.
Did fetal or intermittent monitoring
for
with her
me.
other hand.
Mhm.
Held Drea's leg up for like 2 hours.
When we got to that, yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
It
yes.
was crazy.
Yeah, she was awesome.
And then I started feeling like a lot of pressure, like I needed to poop, and I was like, "Hey, Stephanie, I feel like I need to poop. Like, help me out, girl." Like, and then so she was like, "Do you?" She asked me. She said, "Are you feeling it only during contractions, or are you feeling it all of the time?" I said, "No, I'm just feeling it during contractions." And she said, "Okay, when you feel that pressure all the time, you need to let me know." And then she did ask, because I hadn't had a cervical check in like 4 hours, and so she asked if I wanted to get one. John and I discussed, like, should I get one? Like, what do you think? But he was like, don't get one yet. It's not time. And I was like, okay. And so it was
I
just
didn't
like,
want her to get one and then it be only like 7.
so
and
he
then
didn't
it's
want me to
like,
feel discouraged.
Yeah.
Like, of like,
Dang, I just went
this
through
is
that.
the only time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we didn't do another
So we're
cervical
like, nah,
check.
we're good.
Yeah. And then said,
I kind of made the executive decision, so I don't know if that'll always fly like that, but
yeah.
she looked to me because like she's going through it.
I was like, what do you think?
Yeah, and I was like, no, she's okay. Like we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. And so after on all fours, I was getting really, really tired. And so I went into like a sideline position. Like Johnny said, the nurse was like holding my leg up for me and stuff. And I was just really tired. And I was actually resting and sleeping through like the break between my contractions. And I remember like hearing Liza tell us this, like some moms, like they'll sleep in that like 2-minute window of like not having contractions. And I was like, yeah, right. Like you can't fall asleep that fast. You can fall asleep that fast when
Yeah.
you're exhausted. Okay. I was like, you can. And then so this is when the pressure started to get really consistent down there. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it all the time, like outside of my contractions. And so
I
like,
think
all right.
during this whole time, I'm still doing counter pressure because that's all that she wanted.
on the
and
side.
then our
He's just
doula was like had a
Mhm.
fan on her face and then was
Yeah.
giving her water and just like telling her relax, touching her in certain spots to like make her
Mhm.
relax there. And then for her, it was like her shoulders
Yeah.
that she would tense up. And then, yeah, just telling her to breathe and encouraging her. So that was super nice because I was just,
He was
there's
the
times where I
muscles.
was like
The
emotional support,
yeah.
but that was more so towards the end.
Mhm.
She needed me to be the physical support because our doula is also small. There was one point she was trying to
On
give
the
her
bed,
counter
and she
pressure,
was like,
and her whole entire body was on top of Drea, and it wasn't working. Then I was like,
I was like,
"Yeah,
"Fuck,
get
Ariel."
off." I was like, "Get off, so I can do it."
Oh, it was so funny. But they did a cervical check once I finally had that pressure like consistently, and she was like, Drea, you're like at 8-9 centimeters now. I was like, thank God, like I'm almost there. I'm like, okay. And she's like, and your bag of water is still really bulgy. And I said, okay. And so probably about like 15 minutes afterwards, they like presented me with the option of like, hey, like, do you want us to pop your water for you? Like, you can keep going if you want to, but just know that if we pop your water, it's really going to get things moving. So we talked to our doula. She like informed us that she had to get her water popped with her second kid, and she's like, I wish I had done it sooner. And I said, pop my water. And then so they did.
She
And
said once they popped my water, I was in the same situation as
Yeah.
you, getting close, bulging bag, and once they popped my water, it like
got things
got
done.
things firing, and she delivered
Yeah.
that baby soon after.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, sure,
Yep.
pop that junk.
Yep. And then so now 9:30 to 10. Once they popped my water, it did get really intense. And since I was in a sideline position, I was like, I literally probably within the next 2 contractions, I was like trying, like my body was just naturally like pushing. And my nurse she's like, Drea, don't push, don't push. And I was like, I can't help it. Like, I'm not doing it like on purpose.
I feel like I have to poop.
Well,
Yeah, she's like, I feel like I have to poop. And then she's like, you feel like you have to poop? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, do you feel like that during contractions or all the time? And she's like, I feel like I have to poop all the time.
like I'm gonna poop. Like I'm pooping right now. And she's like, Drea, I have to do one more check just to make sure like you're fully dilated. Because if you're not fully dilated and you're pushing, like you're gonna hurt your cervix. And I was like, oh God. But she informed me, she's like, I have to check during a contraction. And I was like, oh God. And then so she, sure enough, when I'm having a contraction, she sticks her fingers in my vagina and she's just going to town, okay? And I'm like, Stephanie, get your fingers out of my vagina. And she's just like, I'm sorry, sweetie, I have to. And I was like, Stephanie, get out of there. Like, it was the most uncomfortable thing ever. And so she's like, Drea, your cervix is gone. I go, it's gone? And she goes, it's gone. You can push if you want to push. I was like, oh crap. Like,
you're 10 centimeters.
she's like, you're 10 centimeters.
You can push if you want.
Yeah, and Johnny was like, it's so funny because I thought you would be like relieved of like, oh, I get to push. It's almost over.
Yeah.
And I was more of a like, holy crap, I actually have to push this baby out of my vagina. And then so
I thought she would be relieved.
Yeah,
like, hey,
I
after
was-
all this work.
I was like, oh my God. Like it got real for me. And then so
It's like 9:30 at
Yeah.
this point, I think. And
Yeah.
she calls in the midwife. And then we kind of get her. At this point, we're in sideline position. And that's how she ended up
coming out.
delivering.
Yeah.
And so we like dropped the front end of the bed lower. And then the nurse was actually holding up her leg for the whole time.
But yeah, and then they call in the delivery team. They're like, Drea, it's time. And I go, okay. And they get in the whole
Like
squad.
7-8 people come in the room.
Yeah. We call it the pit crew. The
Yeah,
whole pit crew came
Most of them
in.
aren't doing nothing, but just the midwife and the nurse.
Yeah. And then so once they told me it's like time to push, because I was feeling that urge to push anyways. And so my doula, she had to remind me, because it was so funny, because during contractions and during like transition and active labor, like your whole thing is to relax and be calm and zen and like breathing through your contractions. And so like once you get to the point of like pushing, it's like the exact opposite. It's like, no, you need to like grab your leg, tuck your chin in, take a deep breath and like hold it and like push. And so it was like, she told me, she goes, bear down, Drea. And I go, bear down. And she goes, bear down. And I go, okay. And so I mustered like all the energy that I could to like grab my leg and like tuck my chin in. I'm like, oh, I'm doing the whole thing. And then each time I'm pushing, I'm like, is she coming down? Like, is she here? Like, is she coming? And then everyone's like, Drea, she's coming down. Like, you're doing it. Like, you're doing great. And I go, oh my God. And so her head starts crowning. And then I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's like a ring of fire, guys. Okay. I'm being honest. Okay. I'm trying to be honest with you guys. I did it. So you can do it too. But as her head was crowning, they were like, Drea, like her head, like, do you want to feel it? And I'm like, no. No.
I was surprised. I thought I was like, oh yeah, she'll put her hand down there, feel it.
Like,
Like they're like, she has so much hair.
and I'm like, are you sure it's not mine, girl?
That's great.
But then I'm like, oh gosh. And they're like, do you want us to get a mirror? Do you want to see? I'm like, no.
Yeah. She was like,
No.
I was like, oh, okay. I thought she kind of wanted some like, oh my gosh, she's right there. Like, yes, she's almost here. She did not want to touch that. Like,
The head, I was like, I
just wanted
can't.
that
I
baby
don't
out
want
of
to do. But if you want to do that, I'm all for it. You do it. But I really, the way I explained it, I was like, I just felt like a sports spectacle, like with everyone watching and everyone was cheering me on. I was like, this is legit.
Yeah, it was like an arena in there when she was pushing. It was awesome.
I was like, I feel really cool right now. And so they're like, my doula's coaching me through it. She's like, pull your leg, chin your chest, deep breath, hold it, push. And I'm like doing the whole thing. And she ends up coming out and everyone's like, yes, that's it, Drea, keep going. I'm like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing of my life. And I always thought, like, once she was here, she was born, it was great. But you know, in the videos that Liza shows us, like,
They're like, oh my
they're
gosh,
like,
my
oh my
baby,
gosh, my
like right
baby,
away.
like so emotional, so like, oh, like they're crying. When I tell you, I disassociated so hard. I was like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, baby's literally on her chest,
And I don't
and they're
even
like,
know
Drea,
it.
she's right here, and Drea's just looking around, and I was like, babe, she's right here, she's here, she's on your chest,
way-
and she's like, she's here.
The
She's
way-
like looking around the room.
The way I explain it, I was like, from my point of view, you guys were all in slow-mo, okay? Like, my doula is like, Drea, she's here. And I'm like, she's here? And then she's like, she's here. I'm like, oh God, okay. And then I look at Johnny and he's like, she's on you. Like, she's on your chest. And I'm like, she's on me? And I like look down, like, oh, she's on me.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh,
like,
there she is.
yeah.
She's like, she's perfect.
And then I started,
and she kind of started clicking and waking
I'm like,
up.
oh, this is my baby. And it was crazy. We did it, and like, I never thought I was gonna do like a natural birth. I was like, shoot me up with meds, give me that epidural, like. But once we did all like Liza's class, it made you realize like how natural of a process like this was, and like even though I was like, I don't want to say it was painful, like even though it was, but I'm like, it was just intense, but like it's so doable. And like afterwards, I was like walking, like probably like after I had to get sewn up because I got a little tear, but I was walking like 10, 15 minutes after I gave birth, and I was like, okay, gotta go to the bathroom. Like, thank you. And so, yeah, that's our story. And
It's a great story. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. She like didn't quit. She never once asked for meds. She just said like, I can't do this every now and then I'd say, yes, you can. And then she would just be like, okay, yeah.
And then this baby was born.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
You're so cute.
He's
Oh
so
my
cute.
God.
but everything was like, I mean, it was like textbook. It was perfect.
Mhm.
20 hours pretty much on
Total.
the dot. Yeah.
From start to finish. She was born at 22:22, so 10:22.
So
p.m.
20 hours from start to finish on her due date.
That's pretty awesome. You did a great job.
Thank
I know.
you.
She did so
Do you
good.
guys have any questions? I don't know what happened to Tori and Ty, but you guys have any questions?
Also, is my brother there?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I heard him laughing.
I know, I heard his laugh. Wait, that sounds like my laugh.
He's been taking pictures of you. What would you say, well, could you say what was the hardest part for each of you?
I would say the hardest part for each of us?
Yeah, for each of you.
Oh, okay. Probably the pushing.
Mm.
Truthfully, it was the shortest part for me. Luckily,
It's like 30 minutes
I think it took me
pushing.
like 30 minutes of pushing, which I know it's not the case for everybody, and so I think I really like lucked out with that one. But it was definitely like the most intense feeling ever. I think, yeah, for sure pushing. That was mine. What about you? Hardest part?
Well, definitely not as hard as pushing, but I didn't really have it hard at all. I mean, besides just that one moment where I was just like, oh, I can't take her pain away when she was in transition. I just like felt helpless. But she made it easy. She only wanted counter pressure. I can't tell you. I was like, thank God she didn't want double hip squeezes because that would be terrible to do for
It's tiring
20
if you
hours.
have to do that for 20 hours.
Yeah. We have a friend that did it for like 30 hours.
Yeah.
And
Crazy. He's like, my wrists have never hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm
Anyways,
like,
yeah,
well, you can't complain. So
she made it easy for me. So yeah, it was just that. It was just but I don't know. I was there for everything, emotional and physical support. So always trying to keep her hydrated and stuff.
yeah, drink a lot of water, guys.
Tell her she can do it. Pray for her. So yeah, I didn't really have any problems. I know it's not about me though.
Now, before you started my class, did you think, I'm not sure if I want a natural birth, or did you had already decided by then, or
I feel
what
like
motivated you, I guess, to want to have a natural birth?
well, two of my best friends took the class. I want to say like the class before ours. And they're like talking so highly about this whole course and like, oh my gosh, I'm learning so much. Like everything's so informative. Like, I think I could actually do this. And I was like, wait a second. I want to be a part of that. Like, and maybe it was like my ego a bit too. And I was like,
she's competitive.
I feel like I'm really competitive. So I was like, wait, if you guys are going to do this, I could do this. And so I feel like this might be the best route for us personally. And from the get-go in our birth plan, when you make your guys's, we put in ours, like, all we want is a healthy baby, healthy mom. Like, just keep us alive, please. And then so that was our main goal, just to have us be safe. But I'm so relieved that we did this. Because I knew nothing about childbirth or like labor or anything
about any of this
at all
until we took the class.
Yeah, and so
And then I felt like a pro after.
Yeah, he was like, "Wait, I know how to do this," and so, yeah, definitely, we were just gonna go. Like, if we didn't take this class, I think we definitely would have been like,
just done whatever they said.
Yeah, just done whatever the doctors suggested, which. Some people are okay with that, but once you're like a bit informed, your options. And so now, since we knew ours, we're like, all right, this seems like a better alternative for us. So
You did a great job.
thank you. I was like, does anybody have any questions?
Really? Nobody has a question? Seriously?
No worries. I was like, I feel like none of us asked questions when our person told our birth story, like their birth story too. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, put my number in the chat. Just ask Arthur for it. He'll give it to you.
So I have a question. You said your labor lasted 20 hours. Did it actually feel like 20 hours in the moment? Like looking back on it?
Looking back, no. It did not feel that long. I was really surprised that I, not that I lasted that long, but like that I didn't rest as much as I thought either. Like even throughout the day, like I was like lying down, like awake, watching a show and stuff. And so it, looking back, it doesn't feel like 20 hours at all. It feels like a blip. I was like, oh, it was just like, to me, I was like, it was less than a day. Like,
Yeah.
like I was like, lucky for us, it was, we went into labor in the early morning and then we're asleep by the night. And so it felt just, oh my God, my angel. And so I don't know, it felt a lot shorter than 20 hours.
Aw,
And-
yeah, no sense of time.
Yeah,
Thing.
I remember you mentioning that a couple classes ago, so I was curious. How was the placenta delivery?
Oh, it felt like a jellyfish.
Okay.
Like it, they were like, oh, her placenta. Like they literally were like, oh, her placenta's coming out.
I just saw them like putting it in a little bucket, and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, literally probably within I feel like a minute of her being born. I
Yeah,
remember thinking like, okay, we have to like reset, get ready for this placenta session now,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden they're just dropping this thing in a bucket, and then
yeah,
I'm like, all right, is it placenta time? They're like, oh, it's already out. It's like in the bucket already. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. So it didn't feel like anything. It literally just felt like a big blob of jelly.
And you had a couple bumps in the road with the breastfeeding in the very beginning.
Oh yeah, breastfeeding at the beginning was pretty rough. And I feel like when we sent out our birth announcement to like our class, one of my big suggestions was see the lactation consultant. If you're going to be breastfeeding and stuff and even pumping, I'm not pumping, but if you are going to pump, like see the lactation consultant, see what's best for you and your family. But seeing Kimberly, that was her name. She was amazing.
Okay, really.
It was night and day. It was, and now she's a big chunk. I feel like, well, she's pretty little still, but she's chunkier than when she was born, and it's going great. So,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I remember we talked on the phone, you were having some issues, and then
mhm.
you saw Kimberly, got you an appointment.
I was like, my nipples are cracking. This
Yeah,
hurts.
that's not
And then you're like, let's schedule your appointment, and I go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, some people think that's, like, I talked to somebody yesterday, and I go, well, you have any nipple damage? No. I go, not pink, sore, anything? She goes, well, wait a minute, let me look. She goes, well, there's a scab here. I go, that is bad. It's like you have to tell people, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I literally was I was like, well, it looks like I'm kind of like cracking, like, and Liza's like, we need to schedule your appointment. I go, okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
well, you guys did so great. Last chance for a question.
How are you dealing with like postpartum, like if anything?
What do you mean?
Postpartum, yeah, you know.
I think for me, not being prepared for like the emotions of postpartum, personally, I think obviously babies are such a blessing and such a great addition to your family, but for women, it's like the biggest hormone drop of your life. Like truly, I just want you guys to be like, just know that in the back of your head that like you're probably gonna cry a lot. Like you're gonna cry when you're happy. You're gonna cry when you're sad. You might cry in the car when you're driving home from the hospital. I did.
It's all normal.
It's all so hormonal and it's normal and you're not crazy for feeling the feelings that you do feel, moms. Yeah, I think for me, not knowing what a hormonal shift was going to happen afterwards, like I think you think, like newborn bliss, like I have my baby, like we're all butterflies and rainbows, and you're also like, oh my gosh, I'm sleep deprived. I'm really tired. Like I have never
talked about it in class, but
yeah.
you won't get it. you won't get it.
You
It just
will
starts
not get
thinking,
it.
you have no concept of what, I mean, I could tell you that like every day until we're finished the class, you won't get it until you're going through it.
Yeah,
So,
and give yourself grace, give your partner grace. I know for me at least, moms let the dads have their way of doing things. That's my biggest piece of advice too, because I know like what works for me and her might not work for her and him. Like,
Yeah, like she'll lay down on the couch with her on her
and then
chest,
she'll
and
just
she
go to
like
sleep
goes to
like
sleep.
nothing. And
And
so,
so she'll think
Mhm.
that might work for me or something. She's like, just lay down on the couch with her, and I'll try that, and she'll just scream her head off. She doesn't like it.
yeah. And so there's no wrong way of doing things for the dads. It's just different than the way the moms would do it. And that's okay. As
yeah.
long as the baby's alive and breathing. That's all that matters. So
Well, you guys did a great job. Thank you so much. You were very
Thank
entertaining.
you.
I was trying for laughter, so it was great. Thank you guys so much.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good
Relax.
job.
You got
You
this.
got it.